Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the good, the bad, and the ugly series, where today we will be covering Portugal as we head into the 2026 World Cup. Now, we start off with the good. And I think the good here is actually pretty freaking amazing, and that is Portugal's midfield. I mean, the level of technical quality that exists here, when in my opinion, Bruno Fernandes is actually the worst of the three. I mean, that just tells you everything about how amazing this midfield is, and this
Yeah.
is the kind of midfield that can win you a World Cup. There's really no denying it. Yeah, especially when in modern football today, for whatever reason, there is such a big lack of that like actual all and out central midfielder that controls the game, dictates the tempo, that's good on the ball, that can carry, that create play. Just the guy who sets the rhythm. I feel like there was an abundance of them in football just a couple of years ago, and now it's like you're either a midfield pivot or an advanced number 10 that's almost acting as a second striker. These kind of midfielders don't really exist anymore. And we've seen how important it is to the modern game right now with PSG winning two Champions Leagues back to back. And that is the good of this Portuguese side. They have that in abundance and quality in every single aspect. They can run, they can press, they have an engine, they're incredibly technically gifted, incredible tactical awareness, incredibly fluid. They know when to drop, they know when to stay, they know when to go, they know when to it's there's no chink in the armor there. And a fantastic squad of surrounding supporting talent, especially on the wings and at fullback. I mean, it's just very difficult to look at this Portuguese side and not think that's a squad that can go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think you just look. I mean, I feel like the big stars are the midfielders because they have what two of the five best midfielders in the world, and we've seen it in the last 2 years. And then on top of that, like you have Bruno Fernandes, who's a player that is kind of coming into it. He's gonna probably win like the Player of the Year in England for the season. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And like you said, I feel for like a while we had like the last couple of years sort of in that defensive that central defensive midfielder. It was pretty much like you either had the guy that was just very technical, like somebody like Busquets, or the guy that was like Casemiro who just kicked like your limbs off, like pretty much. And I feel like in the last few years, especially like Ambitinha is sort of like the perfect example of this. He's this guy that was like pretty much a 10 and just got turned into like a defensive midfielder. So he could pretty much do everything. He could just control the game. He could give you like that first pass. He could also defend. Like this guy for me, I'm sorry, but he's easily one of like he has to be one of the three, five best players in the world. This guy,
Yeah,
it's a level ahead of everyone, and what he does from that standpoint, he's not as physical as Joao Neves. I feel like Joao Neves is amazing too because of how it's crazy. They're both so small, they're like my size, and they're so good, like physically. I mean, like you said, and then on top of that, we add the wing play. We had Nuno Men, who, in my opinion, is the best left back I've seen like complete in my lifetime. Yeah, I agree. This is a squad that you look at and you say, how can they not go far? And I think there's only one reason why. Well, I feel like two reasons why I think that they might not go like too far in that sense. But they are just amazing. This midfield, I don't even think like we're not even talking about Bernardo Silva.
yeah, we're
Like
not.
with like I'm like I feel like when we talk about like the midfield, everybody thinks about like two PSG players and Bruno. We also have Bernardo Silva, who yeah, he's a little bit older now, but we saw with like how he looked with Pep because on the season playing as a double pivot or something that Pep like had him playing, which is insane. So
Insane.
it's just amazing. Like you just look at this midfield. There's a lot of good midfield in this tournament. I think Spain is obviously great, and the Netherlands is
Netherlands.
great. Even Argentina is really good. But I think if you go, man by man, this Portugal midfield this
And
is
I mean,
another
and you
level.
and you,
Like
and
I
you
said,
mentioned Bernardo Silva there as well. He's starting on the right wing. His ability to come short, cut inside, overload that middle of the park, and even give you an extra passing option. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to take the ball away from these guys. Very, very,
yeah,
very difficult. And then, of course, if you try to then flood the midfield, they have Nuno Mendes on the flank, and then take your pick at right back, whether it's Cancelo, Mateus Nunes, does not matter. They'll then kill you with the spaces that they're going to be that you're going to be leaving exposed there. Incredible. But there are a couple of reasons, and before we get to that big reason that I know you're itching to get to, there is the bad of Portugal, and for me, it's the inexperience. Right? There's a reason why you don't have a World Cup being won by a new team every single year. Right? There's the weight of the badge and what is needed to get there and to win it. is so important. It's why the Netherlands have gotten to so many finals and have fallen short every single time. And it's a very young squad. And yes, the likes of Vitinha and João Neves and Nuno Mendes have won two back-to-back Champions Leagues. But when it comes to the international stage, apart from that Euros that they won a few years back, when you look at many of the people in in that particular squad, there's not a lot of experience when it comes to international football that are going to be able to get you through what is going to be an inevitable low and difficult moment that every single team faces at least once in a World Cup tournament.
Yeah. So I feel like when we say inexperienced, a lot of people are gonna probably say, "Oh wow," but yeah, they have very old players as well. Players that even Vitinha and João Neves, who were players who have played the biggest games that you could play in world football in the last 2 years. But for me, like when I look at experience, I always look the battle tested. If you look at the
Mm,
last couple like World Cup champions, most of them won like either like the Euros or the Copa America, or at least like they made a deep run in it. And I look at this Portugal team, they haven't had that. They haven't had that. Even going as back as we could go to the 2021 Euros, they lost in the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken, to Belgium. Like that. Like, like the tournament came, they lost in the first like in that and that they had. And the following World Cup quarterfinals out like that. Then in the last Euros, quarterfinals out like that again. So like usually when you look at it, you say like a team going into the World Cup, you say, okay, whether it's good or bad, France is a perfect example that they lost like the World Cup and they lost the Euros at home to Portugal in 2016, and you say, okay, they lost, they got there, they played in the big game, they beat Germany, now they're just a player or two away. Let's see what they could do. They get lucky enough. A player like Mbappe comes out. You see it. And 2 years later, they win the World Cup. Perfect. This is where I
yeah.
have the question, like with Portugal. Where this specific squad, where is their big win? Where is their moment of suffering that they all came together and say, man, like that this sucks, like whatever.
Sorry to cut you off
Let's
there.
build on this.
Sorry to cut you off. People probably screaming at you right now. The UEFA Nations League final. I don't really
Okay,
count that as a
no,
big
no,
moment in the
yeah.
tournament.
If you
They just get
think
that
that the
in there.
UEFA Nation, yeah, if you think the UEFA Nations, it's the big moment. Like, I'm sorry, but you're cooked. You're cooked. We're talking about being in a tournament where the whole world's watching you, where you come here as one of the favorites, where there's gonna be moments where you're gonna be down like in games. I feel like this is what's gonna bite them. I
Mm,
haven't seen this team in an all-out match, in a big moment, in a semifinal, in a final. Even if you lose, like sometimes even losing, it's fine because it
you need
builds
it.
that experience and it builds that character. I haven't
Yeah.
seen this from the squad, and I'm actually intrigued to see how they will react once they go out and play a team of their level. And I don't know, 10, 15 minutes in, somehow they're down in the score, and how would they react to that sense? But yeah, that's the only sort of that's the bad in my opinion as well, is just the inexperience of not the players itself, but just the group of
The group. Yeah. I get what
of
you're
just
saying.
coming in together. Yeah.
Yeah. And so funnily enough, I think and people would then say, but you know what? There is one man on there that has the experience at the biggest stage that will take him over the line and that will lead him to the promised land, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo. But unfortunately, for as good looking as he is, this is the ugly of this Portuguese side. I can see a world where Portugal wins the World Cup. I can see it. I can definitely see, I can see a world where they make it all the way to the final and they win comfortably. But there is not a single version of events where that happens where Cristiano Ronaldo starts for them. Not one. Because let me tell you something. This is a very technical team, but it's also a very attacking team. One of the reasons that PSG midfield works so well is because you have three very natural center midfielders. So when one jumps, another one stays. It's a very natural, very balanced three where there's no clear holding, there's no clear 10. Bruno is a very clear 10. He is going to be up there trying to get the goals and attacking. So what happens is that if either Joao Neves or Vitinha jumps alongside with him, you have someone who is very, very exposed, who does not have the physicality to help the defense at the back, especially when you have two fullbacks going over on the wings. So if you don't have someone in the center of the pitch, like a Dembele, that is linking up play, that is dropping in deep, that can step up in the middle of the park, that can give you so much control and possession on the ball where that counter-attacking threat is neutralized, you're going to be in trouble. And the amount of play that I think is going to be breaking down when the ball gets to Cristiano Ronaldo's feet, the fact that that team that is curated for constant fluidity and rotations and tracking back and running and pressing. The fact that they can't do the rotations in the front three with Cristiano Ronaldo, because let's be real, he needs to stay there in the 6 yard box, poaching the goal. They're not going to be able to do the constant pressing to maintain that high line and that attacking threat to make sure that they don't get exposed on the counter attack because he can't maintain that press. And they can't do this thing where, okay, we're committing 10 men forward or 8 men forward, but we're maintaining the ball and we have the rotations and we have the retention and we have the tight touch control because the ball's going to break down whenever you play it to him short with his back to goal. He takes away so much from you in terms of the rotations, the fluidity, the press, and ball retention. He takes away so much from that team that I generally don't see a world where he starts for that team and they win the World Cup. I don't see it. He can be the guy that you bring on to try to get a goal when you need to start lumping goals forward. He can be the guy that, can guard the team and during extra time when you need those moments, when you need a penalty taker in the big moments, okay, fine. But to have that guy starting for you for 90 minutes in some of the most important knockout games, I'm sorry, that will be their detriment. That will be the detriment to this Portuguese national team. And I can't see a way around it.
I completely agree with you, but I think, well, like the one thing that for me sort of like builds this is the fact that if he, if only he could understand, okay, that I'm not the best player in this team. Because I 100% believe that he still thinks he's like that he's the best player in the team.
Yeah.
If only he would say, because like let's be honest, maybe like you could change a few things to get him out of like the 11. But I don't really have a problem with him being on the 11. If only he was, dude, just stay in the 6 yard box and wait for the ball to get to you. Don't drop back. Don't try to act like you're 2012 Cristiano Ronaldo. Just do not get on the way of the player. But this guy is out here dropping back, taking free kicks. What are you doing taking free kicks? Like swearing that he is the main piece. I'm sorry, you are literally the worst player in this team.
Oh, yeah.
If you go man by man, you are literally the worst player in this team. You are 41 years old and you play in the Saudi league. You are literally the worst player in this team. Do not get on the way of the other players, and that is the big problem that I see here. The fact that he, in his head, he still thinks that he is Cristiano Ronaldo from 10 years ago, and he's gonna want to do like he's gonna want to buy more than he could shoot, and he's gonna kill his team in that sense. He's
Yep.
just absolutely going to kill his team in that sense. And like you said, Javi, this guy is 41 years old. I don't care what you say about the whole like physique and how many abs you have, dude. You cannot play 90 minutes. And we're gonna be fair, and we're gonna talk about it when we play out, like when we say about Argentina, like we're gonna say here now. The same thing goes for Messi, and just the fact that the manager is not gonna be able to take him out, you're gonna be playing one man less the whole game.
Yep.
So I do think this is without a doubt the ugly here, and not as much the fact that he's starting. I completely agree with you in that sense. That there's a world where I could see Portugal winning it because they are so good. They are absolutely so good. But there is not a world where I could see them winning it with him being
Well,
a star.
what's more likely, him changing his mentality and way of being, and him going
No,
from
no
being
shot.
Homelander. Exactly,
No,
and that's the thing.
but
This
that's the
is
point. That's the
probably
exact point.
this is probably the best chance that he has ever had in his entire career to win the
Without a
World Cup,
doubt. Without a doubt.
and yet it goes against every single one of his natural instincts. You can't. It's like you
Yep.
can't teach an old dog a new trick, and the reality is that this dog needs to be put down. You cannot tell. You cannot tell Cristiano Ronaldo's psyche, okay,
Yeah.
who has relied on himself and has backed himself. This guy backed himself when like they were down 2-0 to Atletico Madrid in a Champions League final and said, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna score a hat trick. And he scored a freaking hat trick. Like that is who this guy is. His mentality has been in the big moment, I'm the person that will step up and I will be the one to deliver. And when you have this World Cup coming out now, your last one ever, and you have the best squad that you've ever had in your entire career, where does it fit in that guy's, mind that the best way for him to step up is to actually step down?
Yeah.
That does not
I think
align with everything in his career, and he can't do it.
I think if you ask him, would you rather win the World Cup and you scored. You start every game. You start every game. You scored 3 goals, but you are not even like five of the best players in your own team. I think he would not take that. I literally think that he would not take that. He would say, no, I do not want that. I do not want that. I do not want a world
that might be
where this is gonna
harsh.
be over. And Vitinha and Nuno Mendes and all these guys are better than me. I generally believe that he in his head he's gonna go out like he believes that he's gonna go out there
Yeah, he's
in
gonna
the
try to be
United
the main
States here
character.
in a few weeks, and he's gonna be the main character and he's gonna score 10 goals and they're gonna win the World Cup. And if he
Mhm.
thinks that he is cooked, because
Yep,
there's no way that's gonna happen.
it's a very ugly sight indeed. But
Yep.
that is the biggest setback that Portugal will have. I truly believe
Yeah.
so. We have England coming up next. We're going to go ahead and deliver that right now. So leave a like. Let us know your thoughts. Is Portugal their solution or is that their problem? Would love to know what you guys think. Thanks.